February the 26th, 1959. The northern Ural Mountains, Soviet Union, a place the locals call Kalitsakal. In the local Mansi language, it translates to Dead Mountain. A rescue team is fighting through waist-deep snow, searching for 9 missing hikers. They had been gone for weeks. Suddenly, they spot a small object half buried in the snow slope. It was a tent, but it was collapsed, crushed, and covered in ice. The rescuers approached carefully. What they found inside confused them. Shoes, jackets, money, and food all left behind perfectly untouched. But the tent itself told a terrifying story. It wasn't torn by the wind. It was slashed with a knife from the inside. 9 sets of footprints led away from the tent, down into the freezing valley. Some were wearing only socks. Some were barefoot. Who runs out into a -30-degree blizzard without their shoes? What were they running from? 9 experienced hikers went up the mountain. None came back. When their bodies were finally found, the questions only got darker. Missing eyes, missing tongues, and traces of radiation. Welcome to Redacted Past. To understand the horror, we must meet the victims. They weren't amateurs. They were highly experienced trekkers from the Ural Polytechnic Institute, young, strong, and prepared. Their leader was 23-year-old Igor Dyatlov, a master outdoorsman. He had planned this trip to achieve the highest certification in hiking difficulty. Their diaries and cameras, recovered from the tent, showed a happy group. They took funny photos, sang songs, and documented their journey. Everything was normal, until the night of February the 1st. They set up camp on the slope of Dead Mountain to wait out a storm. They ate dinner around 6 p.m. They went to sleep, and then chaos. Following the footprints from the tent, the search team descended towards a cedar tree at the forest edge, about 1.5 kilometers away. There, they found the first 2 bodies, Doroshenko and Krivonishenko. They were frozen solid, dressed only in their underwear. Their hands were burned. Next to them were the remains of a small fire. The branches of the cedar tree were broken up to 5 meters high. It seemed one of them had climbed the tree in a panic, desperately looking back at the tent, watching something or someone. Between the tree and the tent, they found 3 more bodies, including the leader, Igor Dyatlov. They were positioned headfirst towards the tent. It looked like they were trying to crawl back to their camp, but they froze to death before they could make it. The autopsy ruled their deaths as hypothermia. Tragic, but understandable in such extreme cold. The case seemed closed, until the snow melted 2 months later and they found the others. May 1959, 4 more bodies were discovered buried deep in a ravine, further into the woods. And this is where the story turns into a nightmare. Unlike the others, these 4 didn't just die of cold, they had catastrophic internal injuries. Thibaut Brignoles had a crushed skull. Dubinina and Zolotaryov had multiple broken ribs. The medical examiner compared the force required to cause such damage to a high-speed car crash. Yet, strangely, there were no external bruises. It was as if they were crushed by a massive pressure. But the most disturbing details were on Lyudmila Dubinina. Her body was found without her eyes, and her tongue was missing, ripped out at the root. And one final detail that the Soviet government tried to hide: the clothes of these hikers tested positive for radioactive contamination. So, what happened? Modern science suggests a slab avalanche, a rare type of snowslide, that could explain the tent slash and the crushed chests. It explains why they ran. It explains the trauma, but it doesn't explain everything. Why the radiation? Why the missing tongue? And why did another group of hikers, miles away, report seeing strange orange spheres in the sky that exact night? Some believe the group stumbled upon a secret Soviet weapons test, parachute mines, rocket debris. This would explain the radiation and the government's rush to close the case. Others whisper of the local Mansi legends, or something even less human, lurking in those woods. The Soviet investigators abruptly closed the case in 1959. Their final verdict was poetic but frustrating. The hikers died of a compelling natural force. To this day, the Dyatlov Pass Incident remains the ultimate cold case. We have the bodies, we have the diaries, and we have the photos, but the truth remains buried under the snow. Was it nature? Was it the military? Or something else entirely? If you enjoyed this chilling journey, hit that like button and subscribe. Tell me in the comments, what is your theory on Dyatlov Pass? I'll see you in the next file. Stay warm.